Hi, folks. I'm ibcf.
Oh, shit. I'm Dandyist.
And I'm Amicus.
And we're going to talk about The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Yeah. What do you guys think of the movie?
Um, well, for me, I liked it a lot. But like when it comes to his films, for me, War Game and The Pilot, they're up top and they're like in a league of their own and they can't be beat. And it certainly look like they're not going to be beat for a very, very, very long time. But and there's like a bit of a power gap between War Game and The Pilot. But I like The Girl Who Left the Time a lot. I would say like War Game, Pilot movie, power gap, then The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Because for me, I feel like The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is like the last sort of low-key Hosoda movie before he slowly starts getting more grand in scope and more blockbustery. We immediately go next into to Summer Wars, where it's like that's a film where it's the whole world at stake, and even the family drama is like bigger and grander compared to all the stuff he's done prior to that before.
Mm.
But I mean, yeah, I liked it a lot. Liked it a lot. It's sort of like the last like the remains of that sort of that era of his toy era where he was like younger and more daring and more experimental, more radical, but still like his like scope of his stories were still smaller in scope and more low key. And that's why I like and that's why I gravitate towards too and like in just stuff in general. So
Mm-hmm. And you're sure just not a big Digimon fan?
that too, of course.
Yeah.
Like, duh, I'm not like the heavy bias. I was born out the womb. I came straight out the womb loving Digimon. That's not gonna stop anytime soon. So like, I'm not buying to that. But even like war game strengths are just kind of like divorced from what Digimon's good at in general. Because Hosoda's like Digimon stuff is pretty separate from like Digimon in general. Like he's made like his own little universe, even though it sort of contradicts with the canon. And there's like fans have been debating it for an eternity. But yeah, some of that too. I'm a huge Digimon fan, so yeah, yeah.
There is one film he did between Wargame and this, and of course that's the One Piece film. I don't. Have you seen that?
No, it's on my like. I know I have to watch it, and like I feel like I'll probably like that movie a lot because it's just again the last of his experimental era, and that's the era I like the most. So and like I've seen like clips of it, and it's like an absolute like mind blowing movie, and like it's like
Yeah.
turns out like dang, Soda used to really be off the shit set sometimes. Like man, it was crazy.
It does
But, yeah.
it does look really cool. I still haven't seen it either,
Ah,
but we should definitely try and consider that for another time maybe.
another group watch. Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
we did a group watch long time ago. So I've seen it, but it has been a while. I remember it being really good. Maybe his last, his last toy movie, of course, and
Yeah.
really, really special. Very personal. He just kind of made it his own, of course. Not that I've seen any One Piece at all, so I don't have anything to compare it to, but it felt extremely Hosoda, and just like obviously him doing the story he particularly wanted to tell within the franchise, without any regard for anything else. Um, but this movie, Amicus, what do you think?
I really liked it. A lot of similar points to Dandy. I really like how low key it was. Even like when it gets like very dramatic and like the stakes have like risen, it still feels very personal. Like it feels very tied to like the character's own problems. And kind of going back to like the Toei connection, it does very much remind me of like sort of like his Doremi episodes, especially like that one shot with like the crossroads.
Oh yeah,
Very almost directly ripped out of like Doremi 40 from like
almost it
Dokkan.
was right out of Doremi
Pretty much,
40.
yeah. Yeah, that's like the missing link when it comes to like a lot of people talking about the movie because like they don't really bring up his Doremi episode is how he got the job in the first place
Yeah,
because Masao Maruyama, like the former like head of Madhouse, like came to him and said like, "Oh, do you feel like adapting this?" And like I can't find the screenshot. Maybe I hallucinated it, but I swear to God, like he came to Soda and said like, "Oh, it's kind of like Doremi but for adults." And it's just like, "What?"
yeah, I remember that. I read that too, and I still can't find the source. We should ought to find that article or whatever. But Maybe it was a tweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just it's just such a pretty movie. I think
Hmm.
that specific era of like digipaint like movies where
Mm.
it's like they definitely did a lot of stuff with like the comp work, but like a lot of
Hmm.
the movie still has like that very specific sort of like
Hand
I would say
painted or
like hand painted. There's still
Yeah.
like a very
analog.
rooted in like yeah, and that analog cell sort of feel to it, but it's like still definitely using a lot of digital to its benefit. And that kind of feeling is like really works within what it tries to tell.
Like it's kind of like the best of both worlds. It has elements of both digital and analog, and it uses them both like proficiently. At that point, you
Yeah,
would say. And
yeah, I'd say that.
yeah. Hosoda, he really liked, a lot of elements we see in this movie. Of course, come not just from Doremi 40, Doremi Dokkan
Hmm.
40, but the Digimon war game. Just like when she travels through time, like that white digital kind of looking space. He still uses the same thing pretty
Yeah.
much, and I mean he's very good at it. It looks really cool. But again, yeah, just watching this movie, what struck me was just seeing just elements from all his toy stuff just popping up one after another, just sometimes lifted wholesale, and I never
Yeah.
gotten that feeling before with his stuff. It was always completely original, so it almost felt like a kind of a celebration of all the tricks he learned, putting together all his whole bag of tricks on display. Just wanted to show off all his cool things, in a movie of his own. Not like the other ones weren't any more personal, but I guess this is fully, not him finally not working on someone else's franchise.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite scenes in the film is that first sequence when she trips, drops the papers, and it triggers like the transfer of like the power
Oh
between like
yeah.
the
Mm,
device and like she gets that she flies to like all the CG world. It's that type of like imagery that like
Hmm.
mm-hmm.
you couldn't really do that to that level with Cell,
Yeah,
where it's really utilizing the benefits of CG and digital, and it creates such evocative imagery that really it really sticks with you.
mm-hmm. It's one of the movies. I think that beginning part, the whole beginning of the movie, I really enjoyed. It was a great introduction to the main guys. Help me out here. The character named
Oh, Makoto. Makoto.
Makoto. The main
No, come
character,
on.
Makoto. No, she's really, really appealing and fun to watch. So sold, the protagonist really well and really efficiently. And then that first scene where she, I think that was the most magical part of the film to me too. It's suspenseful. It's you want to know what happens to her. You care about her at that point. It's just really well done. Hosoda at his best. He's operating at peak Hosoda there still.
Dang. Well, obviously, good points about the whole thing about like, cause I posted it in the chat. I there's like way back in the day while they were trying to advertise the movie, there's like a official blog for the girl who left through time. There's like a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and there was like one focused on the art director. It should be Nizo Yamamoto, and like they had an interview with him and like the assistant art directors he was working with. So like and they shows like screenshots of them like working in like the actual paintings and like I knew the backgrounds were painted, but it's still when you see the actual behind the scenes work and you see him like actively painting the backgrounds, I still have like a little bit of like a disconnect. Like I know it's painted, but still seeing it's like, whoa, the backgrounds are painted. Like, oh my god, analog. But yeah, and another thing I found to be neat about it is just like since the assistant art directors are usually younger, they said that like, oh, this is like this is like their first work coming out of college like immediately, and that's wild. Like you get you graduate and you immediately work on a goddamn Hosoda movie at his prime too. Imagine being
uh,
that talented. Shit.
man,
But Yeah, but that's the interesting part because it's just so radically different and eclectic because like you got these hand painted backgrounds, but it's so heavy on the comp, but it doesn't feel like it's overbearing it either. You can still feel the analog feel, but you can still feel what Soul's trying to do with the comp and the colors because a lot of things I really like about it is just like again it's still like a very low key story in the way like and like Bako's problems about like the future and how she uses her time travel abilities, but I kind of like how there's just this I guess it's sort of me, but there's like this sort of like off kilterness to it at some points because you have like these like when they're just talking casually, like when they're playing baseball, yeah, when they're just playing catch at the baseball field, like the colors are like slightly muted and like the layouts are kind of like they're a little flatter than when you like what you expect it to be. And then again, even when they're talking, it's just like the layout. You see like this flat layout. It's sort of similar to like because way back in the day, Hosoda was a regular on Utena, and like everyone like he worked with Ikuhara, and everybody knows Ikuhara for like his flat sort of theatrical layouts. You can see that here in The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. And even like again, even when they're being like a little casual and they're being very fun, there's like something, there's like this one small detail that's like always off. And like when I notice it, I just go like, huh, that's interesting. Like the karaoke scene is one of my favorite. It's just like it's a very funny and comedic scene with very loose drawings, but the colors are just so muted. And it's just like when you just see it, it's just like it's a very funny scene, but like why does it look like that? In a good way, of course, because it's just like, just like a little thing, a little like off kilterness. I like when you just know something small being a little fucked up in the background and just like, huh. And you
Hmm.
just kind of like think about that and just sort of eats at your brain. Well, for me, it eats at my brain. That's just how I think about things. But yeah.
It was
I
always.
really like.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you can go first.
I was just gonna say it's totally pretty movie. The art direction was always brilliant. That's one
Yeah.
part I enjoyed all the way through. But yeah, go ahead, Amicus.
Oh, I was gonna say that karaoke scene was another really good one too. It's like a perfect example of like the comedicness of like that scene because it's like the way it just repeats and like every time you think it's gonna end, it's just like she comes tumbling back in.
Mm.
One more round.
And it's like a ludicrous number at the end. Like she did it 100 and something times, and
Yeah,
she
did she say she did it for like 10 hours?
10
10
hours.
hours,
Yeah.
10 hours, and it
Like,
only the
girl.
scene's only like well, I don't know how like each song is. It's the song can't be any more than like 5 minutes at most. So she's been done it like God knows who many times she looped through that karaoke booth. It's crazy, yeah. Hosoda is really good at funny stuff when he wants to be. He should. I don't know if his later movies, are as good with the comedy. I hope at least they keep the comedic aspects, but like that new dark thing he's doing doesn't look very funny. The fantasy world thing.
Ah, damn.
Yeah. Sorry, it only took us this long to get to that.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
we gotta talk about that. Do we really?
No,
Let's
no, we
just
don't
stay
have
in
to
the
talk
good.
about it. We can talk about
Yeah,
good
like
things.
good thoughts
Yeah.
only. Good thoughts only.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, and that's what makes it fun because she just uses her time travel abilities just for anything and solely for her own benefit. But it's not like it's selfish inherently, but it's not like over the top or anything like too insane. Like
Yeah.
when you watch it, you totally get it. Like, oh yes, I wish I can go back in time so I can do better on the test. Oh yes, I wish I can go back in time and prevent this very serious, like this very embarrassing accident from happening. Oh yes, I could wish. Well, I don't agree on the whole karaoke thing. Like doing karaoke for 10 hours is legitimately insane. I don't know about that, but everything else, like I totally get and I totally agree. Even like going back in time, because like the love interest, like Chiaki, like she goes back in time, and like every single time she goes back in time, because like Chiaki keeps trying to confess to her, and like it's not a major thing. She's just not ready for it, and she just feels so embarrassed for it. And that's like another one of my favorite usages too, of just like seeing her just like trying to dodge the subject every single time, but it just like Shaki just bring back to like, oh, do you want to go out? And it's like and it's like I don't want to do this. And like a whole like 10 whole loops later, she's just like, I'm just done. Like go, I'm out.
Yeah, and then she takes the Doremi crossroad the other way.
Yeah, that's where you crossroads.
Oh man. Yeah, she's very human and likable because she's kind of
Yeah.
like the guy says she's kind of an idiot. So she'll just use it for really petty things. But that's what makes her fun to watch. It wouldn't be as fun if she got all intellectual about it, or tried to use it for anything really awful. Or I mean, she never uses it for evil, really. She tries to have fun like anyone would if they're a teenager.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even believe. I like how she doesn't believe it at first. The witch lady who also just comes from
Auntie Witch.
she's
her.
like telling her, it's your, what was it, time looping, doing the time warp or something, and she's completely incredulous until she that fantastic scene where she gathers her courage and then jumps into a lake, and then finally is that I think when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, great scene.
I like the kids after in that scene. They're just like, "Wow, she did such a great jump, and she disappeared for a second." They're all like, "What? That's crazy."
Yeah, man. Yeah, the
And of
incidentals
course,
are really. Oh, sorry.
oh yeah, I was gonna say I like the usage of like the pudding as like sort of like the sort of like start of like really like her realizing how much of like her of what she can use her powers for almost, because she's like she does it the first time and she stops, and then she does it again, and and she realizes that she has the power to do it. And I think that sort of realization through such a simple object is such a really good
Mhm.
way of like realizing it.
Yeah, it's something she can taste. She knows she's not dreaming. If she can taste the pudding.
The first, like, Amicus brought out, like, yeah, the first time she uses her powers is a very good moment, and not because the playing thing is very funny, but also just like when she uses her powers, it's not this cool thing, even though the power itself is inherently cool, because the only way she can activate is by doing this huge leap, and the first time she leaps into a goddamn lake. So and like and another time when she uses the powers, she gets like more and more over the top with it. She's like leaping from stairs, like leaping from this huge building, or like in a karaoke scene, she like leaps, like she's like stops, drops, and rolls into the room. Like every single time she uses her power, she just looks like a huge idiot. That's like
Yeah.
that's like sort of undercuts it, because like it's a very cool ability for sure, but also she's a kid who has no idea how it properly even works, and like the only trigger for it is just like the only trigger she knows is just like leaping forward every single time, and whenever she does it, she looks like this. Again, that's what makes her so enduring and so fun. It's just like
Yeah.
she has this cool thing, but it's like the certain things that like undercuts it, that like adds levity to it, because like at the end of the day she's still just a kid who barely understands her power. And that sort of goes back to the Digimon movie, where like a war game where it's just about these kids trying to do their absolute best, but like so many different things just keep getting in their way whenever they try to have like a cool moment. And that's like and that's
Yeah.
what kind of gives it that's what gives it like his well, he used to be good at that, like giving these characters like this kind of perspective of just like, and that's what makes these things like low key and like fun to be in. It's just like you're not that cool. You're never that cool, but sometimes you can still do cool things, and when it happens, it still is fun, and you want to be there for that. But just don't get too ahead of yourself, because you're still like 16 years old and you're still using your powers to help you do better in the test. So you're not that cool.
Yeah. There's a bit of an ironic detachment, kind of from a adult perspective, just watching these, kids self-seriously trying to, and then she gets like cartoonishly injured every time she does
Yeah.
her roll through time into the scene. She runs into a wall or something. She hurts herself a lot. She gets hit by
Yep.
so many things in this movie. That'll kill someone probably, or give her a lifelong concussion, brain injuries. But no, I enjoy that he's willing to suspend belief for funny stuff. To suspend
Yeah,
disbelief. Yeah.
it's almost slapstick in a sense, because especially like when you mention it, when she starts going like almost over the top with like the leaping, and she like keeps running,
Yep.
she like diving into like the furniture during like the one scene. I like how that even carries on to like at one point she leaps, and then she rolls into like a closet full of like brooms and stuff, and then she runs over to like Kosuke and like the girl who's interested in him, and then she still has the broom with her.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was great. He's got a great like all these realistic details that can add to the comedy. He's got a great I don't know. I think like Ben Edinger talked about this before. Like his sense of he was always like interested in the real world or something, but that
Yeah.
helps him. He can find the subtly funny stuff too in stuff like that. Not just he can do both really broad stuff and really low key, blink and you'll miss it kind of humor too in the background. And I want to mention the incidental characters. Like I liked you barely see like her sister, but like when she's gonna decides to leap out the window, to test her sister's like, oh no,
Oh
I'm so
God.
sorry, I stole your pudding. And she's thinks she's committing suicide. Now that's funny. That's a real comedy, and just to imagine
That's real.
that comic possibility, in this story. He Hosoda, I guess, or maybe the writer or whoever, just thought of all the once they had this concept, they had to think of all the, amusing, situations and something so absurd like that. That's real great imagination. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, because you bring up the writer, Satoko Okudera, and we talked about her before on the Lost Wadcast episode that shall never be released ever. So, but yeah, she was like long time writer for Hosilla stuff, like for some Girl Who Left the Time, Summer Wars, and Wolf Children. She was like she used to be like Hosilla's right hand woman, and she wrote the script for all the like scripts for those films, and she had like a live action background, and she doesn't really do much anime in general. Can't blame her, because why would you want to work in anime in the first place if you come from a live action background? Especially like why would you want to go into the mines? Like, so I can't blame her for that.
Yeah.
But and I just kind of wish maybe there's like interviews about her and about her working with Hosoda like out there somewhere. And like I just kind of want to know what she added to the film, because when it comes to like the director hierarchy in anime, it's just like the director is usually the last person who usually has like a say. But there still are like naturally like script writers that like people know and talk about, and like their voice sort of drives the whole project. But I'm still kind of interested to see like because there is like a quality drop off the second she dips. But I still want to like see and like have like see like an interview or something with her where she talks about what she added to the film and what she changed around. Because like, I'm sure she added a lot, and like I'm sure it's like she was like really cool with like Hosoda too, because like it's sort of like the two of them seem like they had like good ideas and it sort of bounced off each other.
Yeah.
But that's sort of like that's kind of the research I should have done before doing the podcast. But like fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball. So.
Yeah, when I think of like writers and their relationship with directors, it almost reminds me of Ito and Oshi. When you consider like their relationship on like how much both of them put into like franchises like Pat Labor or like stuff like that, where it's like Ito's writing still is like a very big foundation of like the movies that he did with Oshi.
Yeah.
And that does have to bring into mind like how much of the ideas were from Hosoda and how many of the ideas were from what was her name again?
Satoko Okudera.
Kudera.
Satoku
Okay.
Okudera. Thank you.
But yeah, I did find the writing to be very strong. I feel like a lot of like that those character dynamics would be very maybe not hard, but it's hard to really get as realistic because like even for like characters who don't really appear like for nearly as long, like the one kid who ends up having to deal with the accident after Makoto messes up, like that like you could like the one who retaliates against the people who are like bullying him.
Yeah. That poor
That
guy.
yeah, he in the full like context of the film, like even though he does have an inciting factor in like Jackie not going out with Makoto, it's still like he's not like really like a huge major part of the film you would really say. But like that strong writing really makes him still feel like a realistic character because every time you see him have to deal with the accident and like then the aftermath of it, you almost feel sorry for him because it's like a direct effect of Makoto's actions.
Oh yeah. Like, well, he's kind of almost the pivot. Like when Makoto finds out that what she's doing could actually hurt people, because we first saw it as, first we saw it happen, the slapstick, she caused something to explode in the cooking class or whatever, and then, it's all for laughs, and then she, what the action she takes, somehow actually cause it to happen to someone else, the exact same thing. Just by, I guess, the universe decreed it had to happen to someone. And if Makoto wasn't going to be the sacrifice, and has to be this poor sap. So, yeah, but no, I mean, it's a very important kind of story point, actually. And I guess so it calls for him, to be, he's still ridiculous. He's still kind of make kind of a joke, and then he goes way too over the top, but still Makoto feels terrible after realizing what she did, although you can't really blame her for just wanting to avoid having all this cartoon pain happen to her. It wasn't her fault that he did somehow the exact same thing happen to someone else, but oh well, it's still funny writing, so it works. And maybe that is something that Okudera, was it?
Yeah.
Okudera might have brought some of that to the table. Although Hosoda, like, this prior stuff without her is still really, like, I think just his storyboarding, he can get a lot of this across, these sort of characters, these sort of, like in Digimon, like the first little Digimon short film, you just saw all these little incidental kids, and they all feel just very like real people, real reactions. So I think also he is a very good writer on his own, in a sense of his own stuff, just through the storyboard process, I have to imagine.
Yeah, and one other thing I feel like was worth mentioning,
Mhm.
Hosoda has such a way with like his boards and layouts, like even though like I noticed it with this movie, there's a lot of like expressions that are very much like similar to like uh, to like his Digimon stuff,
Mm.
but
Mhm.
but like it feels like they're more like straight from his boards and like actually like
Yeah.
specifically like from like specifically anyone else, like especially um when Makoto first looks at her test, when she realized has like no idea what she's doing.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah. And then the
that's
teacher
just like
comes along and takes a look, right?
it's like it's like those kind of like things that really make like that specific era of like Hosoda, like there's such a specific feeling to that,
Yeah, this
you know?
specific facial expression, this distraught expression that she has, when she's totally stumped on this test. It's the same one we've seen in Digimon, probably in Doremi. Someone made it, and all his stuff, like, it comes just straight from his boards. I've seen his boards. I've posted them on the way back on the Wave Motion Canon blog. Yeah, that's that expression that uh, hard to describe. These beady eyes and like this frown of just anguish.
Anguish. Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
she's angry. She looks pretty anguished there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's
I
gotta come straight from his pen. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I guess I was thinking this would be a good time to talk about the original character designers, Yoshiyuki Sadamoto. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he's known for like Ava, FLCO, like Die Buster,
I had
like
no
all like
idea at first. Like, I started
yeah.
to think there was just a few shots at the end, like where she started to look a little Shinji-ish, and then I was like, oh, what, huh? And so, but I had no idea that he was the guy. But sorry, go on.
Yeah, and that's kind of that kind of feeds into my point because like Sadamoto was a character designer for character design for like for again for that sort of era of like Girl Up Your Time, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, but there certainly are moments where they kind of do look like Ava-ish esque, but at the same time, like you said, we were talking about Hosoda's pen, the kind of expressions that he makes and goes all the way from the boards and gets transferred into the film. I'm trying to say that like yeah, like you kind of don't really. It's one of those things you kind of have to like go out of your way to find out, and like once you find out, it's like oh, some things are gonna click together. But
Hmm.
at the same time, it's just like it's again, it's just so certainly doing his own thing. Another thing beyond like the BEIs or just like the big ass mouths when just like
Yeah.
there's like one scene with a character's like talking about something, and it's just like it's very again very low key mundane scene, and not talking about anything important. But like the girl in particular, she just has this huge like big circle just trying to talk about something. This big circle of a mouth just trying to talk about something, and it's just like
Mm.
oh yeah, that's very Hosoda esque. If you saw the boards, I imagine just be like one to one. And that just comes from I think it's like less of a storyboard, even though storyboards do play a part of it, of course. It's just more like Hosoda's just like taking these things, he's just like rebranding it into his whole worldview.
Yeah.
And that's why again, like a Sadamoto design for like obviously like no one here feels particularly like FLCO like for sure.
No, no.
but, but that's just another thing. It's just like you have like a similar character designer, but it's being filtered to someone else's worldview, a very distinct worldview, Hosoda's worldview. And also the animation directors, which are three of them. Like there's like Chikashi Kubota, who's also like ex Gainax. And like he's a character designer for like One Punch Man and like Shinsa Kayori. And he's recently been doing a lot of stuff in Dragon Ball.
Hmm.
Masashi Ishihama, who's a character he's not a character designer, he's a director over at Cloverworks. And like he's mostly known for his anime openings. He also has like he's very compatible with his style
Hmm.
because he's known for drawing like very like flat, like elegant, very beautiful drawings. And you see them in his openings. And the last one being Hiroyuki Aoyama, who's like a full-on legend. And they did interview him on that old blog. I try to find like confirmations. But I remember the conversation being like, "Oh, it was a very nice experience." It's just like, "Well, no, tell me what you did on the movie." they did they did talk about what parts they worked on individually, but like nothing like no actual like confirmations in terms of like key animation.
Oh,
But yeah, very like interesting lineup. So like you have like this distinct character design from the start being filtered through like somebody else's worldview, and all these different like animation directors too. And like the biggest thing is like once Sadamoto stops doing designs for his movies, like you can't really tell. You would never be able to tell,
yeah.
honestly.
Well, you couldn't tell before
Like
that, Hosoda Digimon, it looks just like Hosoda. This looks like Hosoda, and
yeah,
I assume the future movies look like Hosoda. His imprint is, I
all forever.
like a
Yeah.
Takahata film. He doesn't do the drawings. You would know who the character designer is, who the animation director is. Hosoda is always Hosoda for better or for worse.
It used to just be for better, and now we have to tack on the for worse. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly. Yeah. But that's a really
I
impressive part of his films, just how much work I mean, because someone's got to draw all that. It's got to come from someone, and it's obviously him doing uh, a lot of work.
Mhm.
Just posted some of Ishihama's drawings. Again, like his style is very like flat and minimalist, but very beautiful too. It's very compatible,
Ah,
especially with this era of Hosoda, where he was like, because like yeah, the drawings are very. The thing I like about it is just like the drawings are already very loose from the jump, but then like they take it even further. Like for distance models, like the characters have just full on like dot eyes or like just like straight circles, and
hmm.
there's always like a little bit of like asymmetry too. That's like for me, it's just like oh something's like asymmetrical. Just like it automatically just feels organic. A lot of his drawings just feel very organic too. And like it naturally doesn't feel and it's like it's very loose and organic, but it certainly does not feel sloppy at all. Like drawing still somehow managed to feel solid despite that. And it's just very cool, especially seeing like especially with the background characters we get like really loose with it, but it never really feels sloppy or unpolished. It just feels right. It just feels right. It's hard. One of
Yeah,
those things that's hard to describe.
the
I think it
intuitively,
almost brings
yeah, feels right. Go ahead.
almost brings me back to like the karaoke scene because that's kind of because like
Yeah.
the drawings are really like loose in that scene, but it's like a very good sort of loose where where like there's like a good feeling to those drawings, but it's like very like maybe exaggerated isn't the right word, but it's like it's very simple. maybe it's
Hmm.
simple. Maybe it's like almost simplistic in a sense with that scene. Yes, exactly that one.
Let's take a
We
look
keep
here.
coming back to that scene because it is the best scene in the film. Don't
Yeah.
let anyone else tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's great that he's willing to, put scenes like this in his big budget, adult movie, or so they say, adult movie.
Uh, oh yeah. Well, speaking of like, cause like when the movie came out, it was like this huge smash, like international hit. Like
Yeah,
he was talking about like, oh, this is like the first time I was going like people like screening this movie like around the world. And I was going to like all these different animation festivals, and that's like, and it kind of like cemented him as like this industry darling for a
yeah.
while. So,
The next Miyazaki.
but
Yeah,
oh yeah, well that would really, really well. I guess because we have to bring up that like, oh, he was originally, the story. He was originally supposed to direct Howl's Moving Castle, but
yeah,
like stuff happened. So he didn't. I didn't actually know that like storyboards of Howl's Moving Castle when he was supposed to direct it are like out there. I just like found. I knew he was. I know he storyboard stuff, but I didn't think it was like uploaded. Like I
Oh,
randomly
that's
stumbled upon
news to
those.
me.
I really stumbled upon those the other day. It's just like, whoa, hello. It was just I think Katsuka, like bless his soul, like posted it. I'll try to like find the I'll try to like link it in the chat. But
Yeah,
yeah.
please
But yeah.
do.
It's-
Wow. Oh, that'll
um
be interesting.
I think I
and it,
remember you posting some of those. It's very interesting is having seeing that perspective in a Ghibli movie because it's very much like you watch a Ghibli movie, you see like there's a very specific perspective that's very particular to like the people at that studio. It's like there's still like a definite sort of like different feeling to it. Yeah.
I posted them in the chat. So like ain't like they obviously they look like Mamoru Hosoda boards. And honestly, though, it's just like, I mean, I don't want to say I'm glad he got fired because that's an awful thing to say. But I'm kind of like, he made his best stuff when he was mad and when he was angry. Like, shit,
Yeah.
spite is kind of a helpful motivator.
Well, yeah, it does look like almost like he was trying to make like he was almost felt like he was obligated to make it look like a Ghibli movie because these boards do kind of look Ghibli-ish. They don't scream Hosoda as much to me as the films I've seen so far. Not, I don't know how it would have turned out though. For all I know, this unfortunate aborted project. But if he hadn't been fired, then we wouldn't have gotten Doremi Dokkan 40. We wouldn't have gotten the One Piece
Yeah.
movie, and that those two things alone make it worth it. And we still got Howls
True.
anyways, directed by Miyazaki. That's fine. That's okay.
That's fine. Yeah. Ah, man. Just like I just miss this era for Soda so much because I mean, when I watch like his modern stuff, there never really is like a moment because like things like at that point he's just gone full blockbuster, full grand on stuff, and like whatever is like low key usually are the best parts of the film, but they're very short and
Mm.
very like, and you very rarely get this time to like lounge in it. Like in the Girl Up Through Time, like you can like yeah, and you like Mako's like daily life, like you sit in it, you lounge with it, you like enjoy being with her, you enjoy the atmosphere, you enjoy her friends, you enjoy her cool ass auntie, just like and you just want to spend more time with them.
It's so
But I don't really
casual.
after some yeah, casual. It's just yeah, it's just casual, fun. I just want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But like with stuff like with Belle, very, 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 very over the top, straight from the jump. Like
Oh,
there's like a whole emotional flashback with her mom, and then like her mom like dies like in the first 10 minutes of the film, and like
oh
she's crying,
no,
and the
like a
emotions are like
Disney
running
movie.
so high. Like I did,
Ha 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 ha.
it's just like what the fuck is going on here? It's just like I can't, I just can't, man. But meanwhile, just like but like Girl Who Leapt Through Time is just like I feel so at home with this movie.
Oh, my
Naturally
least.
there is.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying like naturally like there is like drama. Should we get into the drama? We briefly touched upon it with the whole like oh the more Makoto does this, somebody else is affected. It's like there is like drama in the movie. So should we get to the big drama?
Yeah, my least favorite part is when it gets way into the drama and then the love story. I wasn't so sure I um bought the love story. I think someone else in the chat too kind of was. Maybe Nightly Comet wasn't so sure about it either. I think it was her, but yeah. I don't know. It just kind of got a little too neat, I guess. Just the fact that it was her love interest who was spoilers. She was the other guy who was time traveling. Um, but I thought that just felt like it wrapped up things just a little too perfectly, to make it, a perfect little romance movie, which is, I mean, it's nothing wrong with being a romance movie, but maybe that's like the beginning of the end for so this kind I don't know, this kind of almost a blockbustery ending, that's the word that comes to mind. Just feels too conventional. He should have done something, kept that weird casual, silliness kind of going all the way to the ending, although he could have some, he's good at drama that's always being undercut by silliness, but this drama for like the first time, because I've only seen stuff he did prior to this film, this is like the most kind of serious, clear-cut drama I feel like I've seen from him so far. I don't know. I mean, the One Piece movie was really, really dramatic too, so maybe that's not true. But I don't know. This felt a little more like a conventional team romance kind of in that way. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think
Huh?
even when the drama like intensifies, there's still definitely a casual feeling to it until like it becomes you can't turn this into a really casual thing anymore
Hmm.
when like
Mhm.
the Kosuke and his girlfriend um use her bike, and when the time travel gets revealed, it's like that it does almost feel like a little bit too quick, but but you can definitely see like semblances of it throughout. So it's not like it's
Yeah.
completely like on like
In
out of nowhere, but it's
Oh
definitely
yeah.
like something. It's definitely something where I feel like maybe if they had like say like a little bit more runtime, or like they could have had like or they could have allocated the runtime to maybe make it a little bit more like I don't want to say they should have like outright shown more of it, but I do think they could have like at least hinted to it a little bit more. You could kind of see it through like when she realizes her powers can actively hurt people, and it's and how bad the selfishness can be, but it does just kind of come off a little bit as like too quickly and too almost too cleanly wrapping up this the whole messy situation.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Clean. Yeah.
and you
I think the foreshadowing was okay. I think the structure of the film is pretty flawless, but just the cleanness of it, like it just the pieces fall too neatly into place. Um, and it's not even that much. It's just kind of just a way to end it with a kind of a lovey-dovey way. Maybe I'm just not romantic enough for that. Sorry, but
um
go on. Just trying to.
no I will say one thing that did kind of annoy me was um they bring up the painting, and they
uh,
kind of do hints of it throughout the movie, and like but like when Chiaki mentions that the painting was what he wanted to see because it's the only era it was in. I mean, you see like Chiaki like throughout parts of the movie where he's looking at like the painting during its restoration stages, but you never really like get they never really fully finished that. I guess the implication was the romance was so powerful that he still felt satisfied even without seeing the painting, but
hmm.
it just kind of felt it felt almost like a loose end that they never really like cleaned up. It was like and it I almost kind of wish that did more of that. Maybe have like instead of just like the sort of way they ended it, I do almost kind of wish they could have like seen that painting, and like maybe that could have been like if you want to tie it into the romance, that could have been like that could have been like their last date before like he has to leave, you know? really kind of for something that they place so much emphasis on near the end, they really don't. It doesn't feel like they show that much of it throughout the film, outside of like having
The painting be
having the
significant kind of a plot element, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. It never felt it being like a significant part near the end never really felt like as much of like it just didn't really feel
Earned, maybe?
that real. It yeah, it didn't feel like exactly earned. It didn't really feel like an active an active motivation until they needed it.
Yeah. It just kind of came up, as something, um, like they kind of telegraphed it. She's like, oh, this painting that the witch lady is talking about. So you knew it was gonna come, but yeah, you're right. It just kind of was kind of a MacGuffin kind of a deal. Um, that just appeared when only when it was necessary. They didn't really need it, I guess. Maybe they could have just gotten rid of it entirely. They didn't need that necessarily as a motivation for the dude. Maybe it symbolizes something, that um, something else that I haven't noticed, or maybe there's some interview where Hosoda talks about all the deep meaning of it, but it probably is. But just as on the first time watch, it didn't really connect with me in a powerful way.
Yeah, I I am almost I am kind of interested. So this movie is based off of like a um novel, and
Yeah,
I'm interested. There's an older adaptation from the director of House.
yeah,
Um,
Ooh.
the live
and
action, yeah,
yeah, the
adaptation, yeah.
live action one. Yeah, I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of interested. I've heard from some people who have seen both movies that the live action one is um considered almost the better adaptation. And as much as
Really?
yeah, and that's kind of intrigued me because I really like House,
Yeah,
and
masterpiece.
but it's so good. I feel like I feel like considering like the trippy visuals of like in certain parts of Hosoda's film, I'm kind of wondering the trippy like what the House director could bring to it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of, I mean, yeah, like this. The house is such a weird, singular, film. And if he brought that same thing to the girl who left at the time, if I compare House to this movie that we just watched, to Hosoda's Girl Who Left Through Time, it does feel like I wouldn't have said it for any of Hosoda's prior stuff, but for this one, it feels like this feels a little more like the conventional of the two, like a little bit more of the maybe when Hosoda was just starting out, he wanted to play it safe. He wanted to make sure it played well to an audience. He was tired of being the best cartoon director on the planet, and not getting all the love and respect and attention of from the film festival crowd or whatever. So he finally went to lamestream here with no, which is not.
Oh my god, we're supposed to be. We enjoyed the movie. We're supposed to be
I
praising this
know, I
film.
know, I know. No, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. But you're saying it could be the worst of two adaptations of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
It's
Which is
it's
kind of
something
a
to
crazy thing to say, for what's regarded as Hosoda's finest, well, not, but his, the most people, I would think, this is the movie he is known for, like you were saying.
it is definitely something to think about. And I do have to wonder, maybe going back to the painting, maybe that was like a specific symbolic element that was
Yeah.
present in the original version that he didn't want to exactly remove, but maybe it wasn't completely lining up with his vision
Mm.
for the adaptation.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just a kind of a vestigial thing that kind of got left in, possibly, for all we know. Or for all we know, it could have been Hosoda's invention entirely. We'd have to
True.
read and see the
We have
original
to read
movies and
and
book
do
to find out.
research work. Yeah.
We gotta read. We have to read.
Oh, we gotta read and
Oh
do
no.
research. We have to educate ourselves and limit our
No, it's
brains. It's too
fun for
much.
fun. It's the House direct. The live action movie's gotta be a fun time. Have you seen House, Dandy?
I've heard of it. I've seen like clips of it, and
Uh,
and you know what? Oh, it's October. It's like, ooh, 'tis the season. Maybe I should watch it
oh
after
man, you
this.
like the spooky stuff. Holy cow, you gotta see House, man. It's
You should.
Yeah.
oh yeah, you would love it. It's a movie made to order for you.
I mean, it's fun. Oh my god, I'm the receiving end here. Normally, I'm the one saying like, "Hey, have you seen this spooky thing?" And you're like, "No." It's just like,
I
"Oh, but
know.
I'm on the receiving." Like, damn,
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
my game up. Yeah.
yeah.
But going back to oh, actually, because on Amicus, it took us way too late to mention that, like, yeah, this is like this is the sort of like a loose, not necessarily adaptation, because like the biggest thing is like the witch lady, Auntie Witch. She's supposed to be a grown up version from the character from the novel, from the original novel it's based off of. So in a way,
Really?
it's kind of like a yeah, it's kind of a sequel too, as well, very very loose sequel. Being like it's very, again like it's just kind of
I
like
Oh.
didn't know
a sort
that.
of I didn't know that either until I like looked it up and everyone said that like it was common knowledge. It was like, oh my god,
Ah,
dang. So,
really?
like it's a very very loose take on it. So I don't. I mean, I haven't read the novel, I haven't watched the original live action adaptation, but it's just like so I don't necessarily think like I just feel like nearly everything here is just like a Soda's own thing or like Okudera's own thing, like Okudera's influence as well. And like I feel like the only thing it really has in common is the fact that like there is a girl who leaps through time. I had a friend who read the novel, and like he said, like, oh, like the novel is more miserable because like the girl she has the ability to loop through time, but like it only really triggers when she's about to nearly die, and she just feels
Hmm.
so awful about it because she gets put in these like nearly life or death situations, and she lives, but it's just like it's still like harrowing and takes like a toll on her.
Oh yeah,
Meanwhile, Makoto,
psychologically,
like
yeah.
her, meanwhile Makoto is just like, hey, I'm gonna do karaoke for 10 hours, and like, like
Yeah,
so
it's a
I feel
lot
like
more
or
levity
who left through time.
in this.
Yeah. So like with Girl Who Left Through Time, it's just like Hosoda taking the premise and just basically taking the premise and taking these like little things and just like taking everything else and just like turning it into his own. So, but again, I have to like probably do like the research to feel like to see if the painting is like something that was in the original novel.
Hmm.
But like I feel like for me, I don't have a problem with like the painting with like at all because like it kind of is like the big buildup is kind of like I kind of like how it is kind of anticlimactic because throughout the entire movie, Makoto's using her time travel things for like a bunch of like frivolous shit. So like I feel like it's kind of consistent to also have like Chiaki also uses time travel for like this kind of like frivolous thing just to see like a painting. I feel like that's very in line with it.
Mm.
And
That's
also
a
at
good.
the end of it, oh,
That's.
Amicus?
Oh, I was just saying that's a good point. I didn't really think of. I didn't really think of it like that.
Also like because also at the end of the film because Makoto says like because when they're talking and like when Shaki's about to go it's like hey, and she's gonna say like at the last minute it's like I'm gonna take good care of the painting so like you can still see it in the future. And I thought that was really sweet because Makoto's whole deal is like she's still at she still uses her time travel for like selfish purposes, but then she starts using it for other people when around the time it's like, oh, like this can hurt people, so I'm going to use it for good. And like when the for good in question, it's like using it to like help out with because like a girl confesses to Kyosuke and like it doesn't really go so well. So like she goes back in time and tries to like make the confession go a little smoother, but like she starts saying stuff because at that point in the film, like she's not really like that on good terms with the girls. Like when she
Hmm.
goes back in time and starts revealing all this stuff that she has no idea that she never told her in the first place because she went back in time. It's like, oh my god, your grandma like knows him or something. It's like, how do you know my grandma? I don't remember telling you about my grandma. It's like shit, time to go back in time. But like so like at that point, she's using her abilities. She's still going back in time, but she's using her abilities for good, just in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
And so like the end of it culminates in just like, okay, because the more she uses her abilities, like she's also we have to say like she's on a timer too. So like at the end of the movie, she loses her ability to go back in time. But at the end of the movie, she's like fully like she's not like some altruist like virtuous person, but like she's certainly grown and certainly and it culminates with the painting saying that like she's using this thing to like slowly help out herself. By the end of the film, she's like deciding that like okay, I'm gonna like even though she's like a very like brash and impulsive person, she's gonna use she's gonna actually like take the time to restore this painting, and very like it's very like laborious and like very like long painstaking task,
Hmm.
and she's gonna use this to help out her to help out her love interest in the future. So like she's actively thinking about something someone else. So like for me, that's how the painting is sort of like relevant to me, and how it ties into everything, because it shows Makoto's growth, and also shows like it's kind of thematic with how like, oh, everyone uses time travel for just kind of like for just random shit, and so and so does Chiaki. But and also just like because I don't really like the whole like ambiguity about the future, because like when they're talking and like Moko's just like, what's the future like, and Chiaki's all like, oh, like we don't have baseball in the future, we don't have like we don't have like fucking we don't have like, oh, the city doesn't look like this in the future, there's no nature in the future, and like it's just sort of like dipping in the elements of like, I guess the future is like a dystopia, like
Hmm.
okay, like I don't, why are we talking about dystopias? Am I movie about a girl going back in time for like a bunch of dumb shit? Like I feel like at that point it's kind of just like I'm not really interested in all that. But I don't think that pain's completely disconnected from everything. But again, like the ending's like kind of controversial to a lot of people too. But I feel like it's not controversial. It's for me, it's not really controversial. It's just more like a talking point to see what other people took away from it.
Mm. Maybe there's
True.
kind of some pessimism going, because there was a Doremi episode, and try to keep spoilers to a minimum, but there's time travel involved, and then someone from the future says, "Oh, there's no trees in the future." Remember that?
I do
Oh,
remember
wait,
that.
I
That
remember the
was
episode.
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
remember the episode you're talking about. Wow.
yeah. But yeah, some of that, maybe it was just like a thing that everyone was in Japan or something. It was like, or in the anime world was, the future it's gonna suck. I don't know. And maybe it's environmental. It's kind of sounds to me like it's kind of tied into environmentalism.
true. I could definitely see that, and especially like kind of going back to like the painting. It's like if the future was that bad and this painting didn't exist in that future, you can almost see Chiaki wanting to go back for it as like a sort of like what Dandyist said, like it's a selfish sort of reason to go back, but
Hmm.
it's like a still but it's still a reason with like meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the painting come from the future, or did it somehow get sent to the past? Because like the witch lady,
Dun dun dun.
she said, "Oh, this painting was obviously painted. I don't know how she can figure this out, but it was painted in
Well, she's a witch.
terrible time." Oh
Duh.
yeah, she's a witch. And speaking of which, get it? I
Oh man.
refused. Sorry, I refused to believe like Hosoda when he said it's just the Doremi witch. It's just the same. Like I don't care what he says about her being the same girl as the original Leapt time. He's just his character that he put in this movie because he could. That's what I believe.
I mean, yeah, like of course, like they share similarities of just like because like in the Doremi episode, like the witch Mirai, she's literally called the future. She's kind of like she's like when Doremi views her as like this role model, as like the kind of person she could be,
Yeah.
like. Again, she's literally called the future. And
Mhm.
meanwhile, on the girl who left through time, it's like she's like this again. I just love her because she's like this very cool, calm, collected person, and a sort of again sort of role model figure for Makoto.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the movie, Makoto says like, okay, I'm gonna restore the painting. So she eventually follows in her footsteps anyways.
Mhm.
so, so
Yeah.
like in both of those cases, they're both these characters seeing like future versions of themselves and just kind of seeing like, oh, this could be a possibility for me. And in some cases, and the girl up through time, it literally is a possibility for Makoto as well. So we're using plot lines too.
Yeah.
I guess it's just kind of crazy. Like again, like Doremi Dokkan 40 is kind of like the missing link into all of this, because and a lot of people haven't watched his Doremi episode obviously, but like when you see
Yeah.
it, I mean outside like the iconic crossroads shot, again he's just taking characters and taking plot lines and just like inserting it into this already like sort of established world, which I just find it to be so interesting. Like that the episode's like insanely like so pivotal for him.
Mhm.
I really wish more of his toy stuff was like subbed and more accessible, because like what stuff are we missing that like sort of defined him and that sort of defined him for the rest of his life, like for eternity? Like I want to know what was going on, his Aqua-chan episode. What sort of
Yeah.
iconic thing are we missing from that sort of like defines the rest of his film?
Mm.
I really want to see like his he did episodes of like on Nausea, and those are apparently like very popular in Japan
Naja.
because
Ishida no Naja.
yeah, Shito no Naja, and those are like a very like iconic and popular in Japan
Yeah, yeah.
because a lot of people have that dismissive attitude that like a lot of his toy stuff is like stuff aimed at kids. It's kid shit. Who gives a fuck about that? I
Mm.
give a fuck about that.
Oh yeah, of
And like another
course.
big thing
That's
is
the
like
best stuff he
yeah,
did, man.
yeah, yeah, and also because like it that leaves like imagine just seeing that stuff when you're a kid. That's certainly going to leave an imprint on you.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
imagine
the
that's
best.
why it's so like popular with that audience. Yeah, just like seeing a Hustle episode when you barely grasp like object permanence. That's wild. I really wish the Digimon, like, I'm glad we got the Digimon movie in any sort of capacity to begin with, but like,
hmm
imagine like watching like the full like Hustl's like full vision without like without like the dub or whatever, and you see like because like the pilot is all about like this inner secret world of kids. And imagine like watching that when you're like 3 or 4. God,
Mm.
my brain would have been permanently rewired.
Ah, you should have been Japanese, man. Only the Japanese got to see that good
Yeah,
stuff. Too bad.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad we got something, but
No,
still,
we
it's
shouldn't
just
be
like,
glad for what
ugh.
we got. What we got was worse than nothing.
Yeah,
Digimon movie.
Damn, damn.
with the what what did what I remember. I just remember like I can't even like describe like what it was like a lot of licensed songs in the Digimon movie, but it's like
Yeah.
it's like very 2000s grunge rock and throughout
Hmm.
the entire like replaced soundtrack. It's like an assault on the senses in like every sense.
If
It's
only that were
hilarious.
like
It's
the worst problem with this movie too.
oh well it's but I find it so fascinating in that sense because it's so it's like Digimon the movie like recutting like the Hosoda stuff. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. It's probably the worst way you could ever watch these movies. You could probably like it's probably preferable to watch like the crappiest quality version of like the Japanese version, and it'd still probably be a better experience than watching the English version because it's just so bad.
It's got to rank
Yeah,
highly
I
in
mean,
like the crimes in the list of crimes against the arts. Um, like in the history, in world history, on like the gap between the quality of a work of art and what was done to it. At least it wasn't like permanently defaced. So I guess it's not. But just the gap of quality between the original product and then this bastardized version of it. How far from a Hosoda movie to a really, really, really bad localization, English localization. It's um, it gotta be one of the worst of all time, probably.
I mean, I guess I'm a little. I mean, I don't like it either, but I'm still a little light on it. Mostly coming back to the fact that, like, I'm just glad kids saw that into some capacity.
Hey, you're a
I'm very like,
Digimon apologist.
oh my
I'm kidding.
gosh,
I'm kidding.
dang, I can't. I mean, I can't. I can't. I have no defense for that because I very much am. But like, I'm just saying, like, again, this is one of those cases where I'm just glad like some kids got at least like a slice of it.
hmm
Obviously the whole cake is better, but that leaves like the breadcrumbs, the bread trail of just like, oh, what's up with this movie or what's up with this episode, and then that's how they eventually fully discover Hosoda. So like, I can't hate on it for that. And they
mm.
did end up redubbing the movies in a more with a more accurate and proper translation now, and they
Yeah,
released it recently. So you can just show like if you want to rewire like your random like you like if you want to rewire some random kid's brain, you can fully do that now with the
Yeah.
dub version.
yeah,
Yeah.
and,
So
I really like that dub because like they got like basically everyone who was available to do like the dub from like the original like casting to do that new dub, and it's like really good. I'd say it's like a really good dub, and
Really.
it's kind of crazy to like watch dubbed Digimon and not have it be like this butchered.
Embarrassment.
Exactly.
yeah, because a lot of people for the Digimon movie, there's like there are some like good lines in there, but for me, like War Game is already funny enough as it is, just from the premise alone.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of surprised when I watched it properly for the first time at like how much I was like laughing my ass off already. And like again, the dub has good lines, but I feel like it didn't really need the slight punch up. It's already organically funny enough as is.
Yeah.
I just lose my shit every single time. The most important part, the big climax of the movie, gets undercutted by like fucking like Izumi saying like he has to go take a piss. Like I'm sorry, it's funny on its own. It does not need anything else.
No.
No notes. You're perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a really great comedy director, isn't he? His best stuff.
Yeah.
Well, his I've seen. I don't think I've seen all of his Naj eps, but there's one Naj episode. Well, I shouldn't spoil it, but it's just fun. It's just pure comedy. Just a slapstick comedy. And Naja's not like all, from what I understand. It can be a pretty self-serious kind of a world masterpiece theater kind of esque kind of a deal. But Hosoda, he just has these characters running around, just a Looney Tunes routine, pretty much. Out of place, kind of with the rest of the series, but you don't mind because it's just so well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, just setting up like this mood and this atmosphere and this like environment that you just want to spend like all of your time in. It's just like so perfect. It's so comfortable. It's funny because like I most of his TV work I've seen are like his regular episodes on Utena, and that's the exact opposite. Like when that man is on, like when you see his name credited, it's just like, oh, shit's about to go down. And he was like all over that show, and that's where like the Ikuhara influence comes from. And he's mostly, for the most part, he's moved on from, but he did talk about like working under him and how it affected him. I think like even when the Easter eggs, there's like an Easter egg in the movie where like I think going back to the karaoke scene, she's iconic. We have to, but like there's like a song they're singing, and like I forgot if it was like the lyrics or like the songwriter, but like one of the names is like the pen name he used like while on Utena.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, again, it left an impact on him to that extent during that time. Like I
Wow.
doubt he could. He was again, he did a lot of work on the show, so like I doubt he could like move on from it that easily. Even though like most of like the Ikuhara stuff is like mostly gone because he's making more conventional stuff.
For me,
But
that's the
yeah,
missing link because I have not finished Utena, as I said to you earlier. Unfortunately, I still need to. I think that's kind of the missing piece of the puzzle as far as because his brush with Ikuhara, that's his most famous thing, probably after his actual films, right?
yeah, it's so
Yeah.
fun just seeing somebody be like they just check his AN page. It's like, whoa, he was a storyboarder on Utena. It's like, yeah, man, this is up there for years.
Yeah, Utena's an anime that actually has, popularity, unlike, you know, something like Ako-chan, in this country. Too bad.
Yeah, I found the screenshot. So it's like the lyrics by like H fucking let me look. Katuyo. That was the pen name he used on Utena. So it's just like,
Fantastic.
damn, you can't run away. You can't run away. Well, I don't think he wanted to run away, but it's just like, yeah, it's just one of those things of just like, it's like, because it's been up there for years, but you don't really notice it until you look at it, and it's just kind of like, well, that's like a ton of people worked on Utena. Like it's crazy. A lot of Toei people, because Ikuhara had those connections in the first place.
Yeah.
But like it's just wild. Every single time I look at the staff list for Utena, I just know something new. Like fucking Kazuya Tsurumaki was on an episode. Like I never noticed that before. Fucking Norimitsu Suzuki was like a regular. Like what?
Oh man, I
Like it's
gotta
crazy.
finish this
Yeah.
show, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And the full pen name he used on Utena was Katsuyo Hashimoto, and on the screenshot it says "word by H Katsuyo." So there it is.
Hey, guys, what do you think? Uh, Madhouse or whoever guy said, apparently said, "Helzo, you want to do Doremi for adults?" Do you think this movie, Girl of the Time, is like more adult than his Doremi episode? Do you think it has more depth and maturity, or not?
No, they're both about the same to me.
About
Even
the
though
same.
like I just think he just said that shit so he would direct the movie. Just
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that
he
like,
just
oh,
trying to
Doremi
sell
for
him on it.
adults.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just so funny to me because like Doremi before adults, what the fuck does that even mean in the
Yeah.
first place? Because the original because Doremi itself was already like pretty mature. So it's just
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can make like parallels, but he inserts, for starters, he inserts that stuff into the movie into the first place. It
Yeah.
wasn't like it was organically in there, the original source material. And also like you can make links between like Doremi and like Makoto both being, oh, they're both the unluckiest girls in the whole entire world. But I feel like it just sort of starts and ends there.
Yeah.
I just find that statement to be inherently goofy. I just know he said that so you can get the man to direct the damn movie.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you
Yeah.
could have said like, oh, like it's like Digimon but for adults, and he would have directed it anyways.
Yeah. But do you think just they are like ignoring what he said? Do you think it has the same kind of? Well, actually, Doremi has the advantage of length because it's like
Yeah.
200 and 1,000 episodes, and this is just one movie. It doesn't have actually the time to put across all these unique characters. He's actually I guess you could say he's a little bit at a disadvantage. He has to create a whole cast of sympathetic, likable characters in the span of 90 or whatever minutes, whereas the Dormy people have 90 like hours, to
You could
do
almost,
it.
I guess you could say time waits for no one.
Oh, shut up. Honestly, that's like my favorite part. My favorite part is seeing like the time waits for no one scratched on a little chalkboard. You see like a little like emoticon under it. I feel like that's kind of like that's sort of like one scene like sort of sums up the entire movie. Like this very like again this very like oh like time waits for no one. It's very like serious quote that like applies to everybody and like
Hmm.
so like you know like some student just like randomly drew something on it and it's like really. I mean, because you have like this whole again there is like seriousness, there is like drama into it, but there's also like that levity cutting into it. So you have
Yeah.
like this huge meaningful quote and like some like in like it's some random doodle under it basically telling them like fuck off.
That's something, yeah, Hosoda is really good at balancing the tone of his films. Always so far, at least great comedy. And then he can pivot to. I got to see that One Piece movie again because it gets really really high. Maybe that's like the Ikuhara Utena level of drama because it does get achingly painfully dramatic, and like your heart breaks for these characters, the horrible things that happen in the movie. It's an interesting one, but at the same time, yeah, there's really really funny stuff too, and that's like good directing of movies.
Whoops. Yeah, I just get that vibe. Just seeing the screen caps alone, just like some of that stuff in the movie. So just again, just seeing images, some of that imagery there is just like overwhelming. Just by looking at it, completely divorced from context. Like
Yeah.
I feel like even when it's just like high octane, really dramatic, you're just seeing stuff you've never really seen before. Period. Just like it's all this like unbelievable imagery, and that's what makes it distinct. I know the vague plot of the One Piece movie. I just need to watch it. I just need to watch
Just
it
watch it,
too.
yeah.
Like man,
That's all
yeah,
watching,
maybe
yeah.
that could be the next. Maybe that could be the next group watch. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, yeah,
But
we'll see. Again, yeah.
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 Oh wait, actually, this whole thing started because like they were doing this whole like year of Hosoda things to build up for his new movie, and they're releasing some of his movies in theaters. And like I wanted to see The Girl Who Left Through Time in theaters, but for some godforsaken reason, because right now we're in like an anime boom for like movies in general, so like
Hmm.
they're just screening everything and anything like everywhere. But they skimped out on this one for some reason, because like normally there's movie theaters I go to that are like my old reliables, but like with this one, the nearest movie theater was like 30 miles away. So it's just like, what's
Oof.
going on? Last time I checked, it's not like 2017 anymore. Like, what the heck is going on? And
Yeah.
it was only doing like one showtime. So I guess that whole like year of Fasola thing didn't work out. I guess they sort of like dialed back on it for this one.
They
Which
must have
sucks because
because yeah, I had the same kind of. So I had a theater that always shows these things, and then they had it scheduled. Actually, they had so they still played the dubbed one, which I'm not gonna freaking see. They had a subbed one scheduled too right after it, and I was gonna see that one, and then I came back after my trip to Ottawa, and then it was just gone. I had the link still to it. I knew it existed. I had a screenshot of it, but it disappeared. So something obviously did not go to plan, or they must have been getting some disappointing returns.
yeah,
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Did you see it in theaters, Amicus, or?
Oh no, I just downloaded the OK subs
Okay.
release.
Damn. Damn. So the one movie we all wanted to see, we couldn't even see it in theaters. Like shit.
Oh man, and maybe it's worse ones are
So
gonna make it. Yeah.
I mean, in an alternate timeline, like just like the very Mamoru Hosoda is getting like a full national, like a full global release at the same, like nearly at the same time as the Japanese release. That would have been like a cause for celebration.
Hmm.
But now it's just like, no.
Yeah.
God, and
Yeah.
it just hurts because I just like when I really get into Hosoda stuff, I just like reblog a lot of stuff on like on my Tumblr. Just like I just start like writing about him. That's when they always announce a new trailer for Scarlet. Every single time, without fail, I get reminded of just like, damn.
Mm,
uh,
yeah. But so he
uh,
did this, and then he did Summer Wars next.
yeah, Summer Wars is the next one,
Uh,
unless there's like some secret. Like, I'm pretty sure there's probably like a lot of stuff he did like non-credited in the background that we just don't know about, and he probably won't reveal until like an interview like 20 years later. That does remind me. I'm not sure when this show came out, but like there was this one show called like Occult Academy, and he is explicitly credited for the ending. I think the ending, I forgot the specific credit, but I think the credit was like for photographs or something. It's a trippy ass ending, but like on that show, there's an episode with like a pen name, and people theorize like, oh, could that be Hosoda? So because yeah, so it's just like maybe there's like more like little breadcrumbs like that that we just haven't really discovered yet.
hmm.
But yeah, after this, just straight into Summer Wars, and then after that, Wolf Children, and then the decline begins. So
Oh, I kind of want to Summer Wars. I just keep hearing it's like a Digimon war game, but not as cool.
but
Wolf
for a lot of
Children.
people, we have the hipster opinion here. We're
Yeah.
gonna be, of course, we're gonna get people just like, oh, War Game is better. But for a lot of people, they view Summer Wars as the better movie. But there's like again, sort of like that whole like, oh, like the Digimon stuff is just like kid shit. Who gives a fuck about that?
Well,
It's just like that's
obviously,
sort of that
none
attitude.
of us are those kinds of people. We love the
Yeah.
kids shit. So I don't think that's gonna work on us. No. But at least Wolf Children has
Yeah,
a
but
premise that seems unique, I guess, compared to
oh,
his
for sure. I'm
prior.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure I like Wolf Children too.
He did the Samurai Champloo opening, didn't he?
Yeah, under his Utena pen name, and it's just like that's like another thing. It's like again, the information is right there. I wish more people would talk about it because like, and it's still and What year was Shampoo? Like 2004, right?
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's like, so yeah, that's still like started like in his like Toei experimental like Toei era. So it's like very radical and unique, and it's like you will not see that man crank out imagery like that ever again.
Yeah. Do you feel like kind of what I was saying at the beginning? It felt like for the first time he was just kind of going back to his own standbys as far as like the imagery goes. You know, the Doremi crossroads, the
Yeah.
characters like the witch. Do you think it kind of is showing a sign of bad things to come? Because like like it's not everything. It's just totally, you know, what's the word, sui generis or whatever.
I have no
um,
what.
oh no, it's not. It's not totally like novel. You know, this time around.
Um, I well, I guess just because I mentioned that like the girl who left through time is sort of like that's sort of like the remnants of that, and then after that I kind of start peeing her off on his films because
Mm,
to me he does because I know I like Wolf Children because like I feel like that's the first time he fully tackles like a family drama, so that does feel novel. But then like Summer Wars, it really is to me it's just a less interesting version of a war game. No, Summer Wars does have family drama. So that's how much the show didn't really like register with me in that way.
mm,
But yeah, to me, Summer Wars is like a less interesting version of War Game, and it's just like then you have Wolf Children, which is like which sort of recycles the family drama from which I haven't watched, so I'm kind of being mean here, but like it's recycling. Oh, it's like another family drama, and then like I heard about Boy and the Beast, is sort of like another like family drama, but
yeah.
it's closer in vein to like Wolf Children, and like you have Belle, which is sort of recycling. Okay, it's another movie about the internet and like how we're perceived and shit, so, which is like recycling Summer Wars, which in itself is a recycling war game. So it's just like after
Yeah.
a certain point, it kind of he just like I guess my big hang up with me. It's just like he's revisiting these ideas in like less interesting ways, and there's like such a huge gap between them to me. Again, because like War Game is just like it's just like the perfect movie to me. It's got like a great balance between the tone, great
Yeah.
atmosphere, and a lot of one of a kind imagery that you cannot find anywhere else. Especially the ending shot of War Game. Try to find me something that looks like that
No.
because like the ending shot of War Game is just like they dismantle the nuclear warhead that's going to threaten to destroy everything, and it just lands into an ocean, and you see like a bunch of people looking at it, and like the warhead like leans into the ocean, and the adults lean with it, and it's just like
Yeah.
fucking where else are you gonna find that shit?
No,
Because like
nowhere.
in that same imagery is reused in Summer Wars in a drastically less interesting, in a much more straightforward way.
Yeah.
And like it just sort of like damn, it invites itself to those comparisons in the first place.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So he's kind of like feeding on himself eventually, huh?
yeah, and it just seems like the Ouroboros finally just like it just gave out because I guess the newest one is like new in itself because that's his first time doing like a full fantasy thing. Because normally his movies are very like magical realism or like urban fantasy. There's like this like mundanity mixed in with like something magical or out of the ordinary. But like his newest one is just like full strip fantasy, which I don't really like as a genre. Like
No.
I don't know, I'm the kind of person. It's very like I know it's a very superficial thing, but like when you have like two contrasting things, that invites like depth to like some degree. So like I like it. Like I like stuff contrasting with each other. Like if I just see like a dragon flying around like a medieval place, I'm not gonna give a fuck. But if I see like a dragon flying around the city, it's like, oh my god, this is the
Yeah.
best thing ever. I'm so easy to please in that regard.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but but yeah, it's just more straightforward. And I feel like there's just like I don't like the straightforwardness. So it was fun. He was just juggling so many disparate things together, and just like you want to do like a straightforward like fantasy action movie. It's just like
Well,
nah,
Ben Edinger
nah.
once said that he was only interested in the real world, so maybe this is like his final surrender to the of his own like he's completely lost his own vision for filmmaking. If you want to really
Uh,
put it in a negative way.
yeah, whereas it's just like it sucks because this version of reality is just it's just so great. Like it's just
Yeah.
again I just keep talking about like because he hits the perfect balance. It's not like too mundane, but it's not like too like saccharine. It's just like I just want to spend. It's just such a great environment. I want to spend more time with it, and I love his take on reality. Like yeah, it can be a little bit cruel or mean at times, but like he doesn't like revel in the cruelness. He'll like normally these characters will just like dust themselves off and get back up and just continue to go at it, no matter how many times reality tries to undermine the struggles as like kids or like teenagers, because it still feels real to them. And Hosoda like understands that. It's just like that's like a great thing to be mindful of. That's the thing I love about like this era of his films so much. So I feel like Wolf Children will probably be like the last remnants of that. I feel like I will probably enjoy that one a lot.
Hmm.
But enough about me. I'm being a little too.
No, no, you're good.
What about you?
Amicus. Have you seen his later films? Any of them?
um, I saw Boy and the Beast like a while ago, but it's been too long, so I don't really remember much of it. I just remember not really liking it all that much.
Yeah,
That
like
sounds
Boy and
in
the Beast.
line with what I'd heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Most of
Boy
the
and the Beast was like the first time he had like a the first time people weren't liking his films. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mostly the only reason I really still think about it most of the time is just because of the fan art that pops up so much now.
Hmm.
But it would be it I do think I should probably at least revisit some of his later works because it would be a good contrast because if I watch something Hosoda related, I'm probably just gonna watch like some of his early stuff. But it would be good to at least have a newer perspective on it, you know.
Yeah.
Have
See,
having seen
you'll appreciate his good stuff by seeing where it all went wrong.
yeah.
By seeing how bad it can get. But do you think
um
did it bother you, Amicus, at all to see like kind of ideas just being revisited in The Girl Who Left Her Time, just really obviously, um, just him. Do you think like at this stage maybe it was acceptable, for him to just kind of steal from himself, because
I think I think so because Who Left Her Time it's still very specifically unique in its own specific ways.
Yeah.
Um, even with how much it leans on like, I would say maybe not leans would be the correct word, but it definitely gets help from from like his previous works.
It borrows
So
freely.
there's
Yeah.
it borrows freely, but it still has its own sort of feeling to it that
Yeah.
still feels completely unique and wholly himself.
Hmm.
Um, but then he compared it to like his later works. Like Dandyist said, he started recycling from like his later works in less interesting ways, and I think that's what kind of separates Girl Who Leapt Through Time, because it still feels very interesting and very specifically him without feeling like he's losing anything.
Yeah.
And you watch his later works, and he is starting to lose that sort of momentum that he had
Yeah.
during his like pre-Summer Wars era.
Mm.
I think like this was like his first like big international success, but Summer Wars was kind of like his first. It was kind of like the beginning of like his blockbuster era
Mm.
Oh,
that
for
kind of
sure. Yeah.
permeated.
I see. So this still kind of would line up in with the toy era Hosoda. You think this would maybe like be the last gasp of the toy, the swan song of the old toy Hosoda, and then Summer Wars would be beginning of the new and not improved Hosoda.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say this was probably like the last hurrah of that Toei Hosoda era, because it's almost like it's almost retrospectively looking back on his older work,
His greatest
while
hits. Yeah.
yeah, and then because in its own way, its own great hit because of how much of a unique take it is.
Yeah. It's like a summation of all he'd done, incorporating elements of all Digimon, Doremi, probably some Utena somewhere in there.
Yeah, yeah. Don't forget Utena. I
Yeah.
would be on your ass if you forgot about
Well,
Utena.
you won't let me forget about that. Yeah. Um, yeah. No, that's a fair way to put it. I think it's hard to describe it, but I think there may be hints somewhere too of things to come, but they don't really hurt this movie. I think there's just something about it that feels a little blockbustery to me. I don't even know what that means. I haven't even seen his later stuff to compare to it, but it does have a little bit of that, I guess, conventional vibe that I hadn't really gotten with his prior stuff. But it doesn't break the movie at all for me. It still feels very, very much nearly in the same league as his best toy stuff.
Yeah.
Um, anyone got any closing arguments?
Um, I mean, we're pretty unanimous about the film the entire way through. I feel like
Yeah.
the closest thing that's like an argument is stuff about like the painting, which is already like a controversial part and like a huge talking point for the movie in the first place. So like, no, I guess like one last thing to close out, because like another like line is just like when Chiaki and McCullough are about to separate, he comes back and says like, "I'll wait for you in the future." So like,
Mm-hmm.
what are our takes on that? What does that mean? What do we think it means? So
I
Amicus,
think
go first. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think it's referring to like the painting, because like now that I've kind of had like a bit more to think about it, a bit more like chew on, that line, it almost makes me feel like they're utilizing that painting as like a sort of way of like connecting with each other, um, throughout the eras, you know?
mhm.
Because
Yeah.
I think that because I mean, if Makoto's word is able to really change the future and really her motivation to keep that painting alive, maybe that could be like what he meant by the line that he'll be waiting for the painting in the future.
Hmm. Maybe he just comes from the really near future, like 5 years ahead. It's just-
Damn. That makes and the setting of this world fucking sucks if the world just like destroys itself in 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if he says, "I'll be waiting for you in the future," like I'll be there, really soon.
Oh god. I mean that just like makes it that's just an awful. that just makes the movie like awful. I'll be waiting for you in the future, 5 years later, and she's just like, shit, everything's destroyed now, but I'm here. I'm here. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
And the painting's here too.
It's kind of ominous if when you think about it. That's kind of how it came off to me. I wasn't sure what to make of it. I mean, or maybe he's just gonna do his time travel thing again and come that's the other way. It just sounded like to me like a poetic way to close out the. I'm not sure I can really interpret much meaning into it. Just it's kind of this love story to give it some closure because I don't know. Yeah, the love story. I don't know if he's
Not
if
one for
that was
love.
he can play, he can do a lot of emotions, but I don't know if well, it was good. It was good. Like I liked how I think it was Ultra Plethora said it was good awkwardness, very realistic, believable awkwardness between the characters. Maybe that's also what I feel like the story just kind of ended up in a very like a storybook, kind of an ending the way they, they didn't get what they wanted, but they got, a very touching poetic closure. And I would have liked it to have, ended just as messily and awkwardly as it had always been. There's these three high school friends who they could be more than friends,
Yeah.
This awkward, teenager boy and girl relationships. That was very believable because it was put off so believably throughout most of the film. It does feel like there's a little bit of a contrast with the way it just kind of ended up becoming like the story took precedence over the reality of these characters. Almost they had to kind of start to follow the story rather than just kind of their awkward behavior, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Um, I think what I really liked about the film is there's it's kind of going back to that low key sort of feel, but you also made a good point. It's very the relationship between the main three. It's that it's like a very uniquely teenage sort of friendship
Yeah,
that is that it feels very hard to really capture that in a lot of ways, but it feels so uniquely captured in this film.
very realistically. Like not a lot of anime, well, cartoons, not a lot of live action either. Um, gets that across so well, and it had such a good thing going for it. I guess that I mean it's just hard to do that. I think it's very hard to write teenagers well, maybe, instead of just caricatures or just well, not like a character is bad, but just just very flat, one-dimensional depictions of them. They're the cute one or the jerk one or the stupid one.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of stock archetypes in anime. A lot of them. They have a certain style of hair or eyes, so they'll behave a certain way. This totally avoids any of that. And then on top of that, it does abnormally good job of making their dynamic odd but endearing. Feels like something that just could happen with any group of high school friends.
Yeah. I mean, time travel aside.
Time
I
travel
mean,
aside, besides
time travel.
that crazy element, yeah. But I
Um,
mean, even if there weren't any time travel, it would still be an interesting movie just to see how these three weirdos get along in their
yeah,
lives.
and I like how even though Chiaki was kind of like the main love interest, I guess, they definitely show that Makoto still cares for like all three of them, and there's definitely like as she falls for Chiaki, it's like there's still like that very like that friendship is still like the very core of like the film and like the character writing. It's still very much a persistent aspect of it.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
I feel like a lot of romance films, regardless of medium, a lot of like that friend group sort of like that starting friend groups type stuff can end up like either overtaking the romance or the romance overtakes the friend group and it just becomes like a complete side thing.
Yeah.
Um
It loses the priority at some point.
mhm.
Yeah. This did it well. It didn't lose sight of like a lot of the most important things. It did. Hosoda always, had his eye on the ball. Like in most ways, I think it's a pretty airtight construction. Probably totally. The story just begins and ends, very very well. um, I don't know. Yeah, there's some to it that left me a little dissatisfied, but like I don't want to overstate that because so much was done as perfectly as I could have hoped for. So it's not like I was disappointed at all. It was still really really good. Like by just any director standards, it was a really really good movie.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Dandyist, you just out, I think. But do you have any any additional closing statements?
Sorry. But um, yeah. I mean, again, like the movie a lot. Like it's like the last hurrah, the last gasp of like the Toei era Hosoda, the cool Hosoda.
Mm-hmm.
And like after, and yeah, just again, just like the low keyness. I like the off kilterness. I just like so many disparate elements coming together to form something cool and like fun and low key, still low key too. That's the most important part. And yeah, I mean, I like the film a lot. I like War Game, the pilot, Digimon pilot. They're untouchable, but Girl Who Left Through Time, you're a good third place.
All right. That's not bad. Not bad as Sozoda goes.
Not
Third
bad
place
when
Sozoda
the
is
bar is so
better
high.
than a
Yeah.
large pile of other movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, when the bar is so high, third place, you're in pretty great. You're in pretty phenomenal condition actually.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Extremely high bar. I don't know if that it exceeds. Yeah, I guess the only disappointment is that he just did such phenomenal work before that it's just impossibly high bar he set for himself on franchise films. Yeah, and then um, it is as we know though it's not a totally uncommon thing. Keiichi Hara went from
Oh, you gotta
Shinchan.
drag him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I got to drag him, but like even Oshi, he on franchises he did some of his best work, and then Ghost in the Shell is really good, but then later, like in the 2000s, it does feel like once they're let loose, kind of on their own, then they can get a little lost in the weeds. When they're doing when they're doing original films, it can be hard without kind of that safety net or just kind of that foundation that can
Hmm.
really help. They don't have to do all this hard work, I guess, of having to originate an entire new world. They can focus on the thing they're good at, which is directing a good movie. They don't have to reinvent the wheel with a franchise. So it's an interesting, but they might be dissatisfied with the creative restrictions that a franchise also has. So it's a bit of a dilemma, huh?
Oh, a dilemma that we shall spend the rest of this conversation, the next 5 hours, talking about and trying to sort out in one night. Are you
Maybe
up
not.
for it? Can you do it? Nah, maybe nah. But yeah. I guess the moral of the story is just like don't if it's like a movie tied to a franchise, still give it a shot and don't write it off as like a worse version of it. Like like because like the franchise stuff I guess the appeal of the franchise stuff is the fact that like you have this person taking like something and like expanding upon it in a very vastly different direction,
Yeah.
and that story like expands upon the world itself. And it's always fun to see like a new take of an already familiar setting to begin with.
Yeah.
Because now it's just because now like original anime movies for established franchises. Like I think we only have like what My Hero Academia pulling that shit, and like at the end of the day, it's still My Hero Academia. They're not gonna like be pulling something as radical as like Hosoda.
Mhm.
So and like there's like a drastic shortage of it. So
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of moving back around to him. Like I'm kind of missing him more now. So
Yeah. They're not maybe as many good incubators for people like Hosoda, because that's where he came from. It, franchise work can lead to some of the best. Oshi, of course, Urusei Yatsura. He was a franchise
yeah.
director, and look, he became one of the greatest anime directors of all. Um, Even Miyazaki started on Lupin, of course. Well, he was doing
Yeah.
toy stuff before that, but he was not above franchise work. Cagliostro, that was his first feature film. Yeah, there we go. So,
I don't. I know this. You think there's like. I feel like there's like, especially within Toei, there's like plenty of opportunities to do like more original movies because they have plenty of legacy like to do like original takes on franchises already, and they still kind of do that. But especially with the case of Digimon, like they do have Digimon movies, but that's like they're not doing anything new or radical, just recycling old nostalgia because
yeah.
that's what's in right now. So I mean, I think off the top of my head, the only like new like original like movie that was based off a franchise is like the Kitaro movie, and even then, that's still like it's more like a prequel to like the whole franchise itself. They're rather doing something new. I mean, I still
Mm,
appreciate it, and they have and like Toei. If anything, Toei is the best place to like generate like really talented like young directors because they're like they have like this like legacy and it's very unique environment they have to grow up in. How Toei has like these drawing sheet limits and you have to stay within those limits, so you have to think about different ways of like trying to create evocative and striking imagery without necessarily having to rely on drawings. And you can see it in like even Hosoda's Digimon episode. There's like a scene like Tai Chi's talking, and like you cut to this like screen of like something being distorted on camera, and there's no drawings. It's just like a background. It just stays on there for a solid minute. And like that's yeah, just like you have to like you put yourself in a challenging environment. You have to like circumvent all those restrictions. That's why Toei produces the best of the best, like Takuya Igarashi, oh, my girl Rie Matsumoto, like and recently, Megumi Shitani, like
yeah.
she's done like a lot of cool stuff on One Piece, and she did like an original short for One Piece.
Oh
So
yeah.
like they still have like they can still do that. They still have the potential to do that. The problem is we're stuck in this era of nostalgia. That's the
Mm,
worst part. That's the whole thing that's holding it back. I feel like if Hosoda did like they'd probably have like Hosoda like chained to like Digimon and having him do like anniversary specials or like short commercials or something. Like nothing fully new or unique. That's the
mm.
worst part of it.
So it
So
might
like
not
Toei
have been
has
so good even if he had stayed at Toei somehow.
for sure, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
especially now.
Yeah.
Because like Toei can do like they can do like cool, unique stuff. You know that, like with Kyoso Giga or like Mononoke or like
Mhm.
fucking like very like Rainbow Fireflies. They
Yeah.
have the power to like change anime overnight, but like it's
Mhm.
run by old men, and it's just like, oh, we must make another season of One Piece for all of eternity. That's and nothing else ever again. Because
uh,
I'm so old. But yeah, it sucks. It's frustrating because like you got like all this fresh, cool people, but like you don't ever want them to make like something fresh and cool, and unique. And when they try to do that, it's chained down to something else. It's just like Kyoso Giga is probably like the last attempt, and even then, that was made to sell toys. So even then, its origins aren't fully pure. But yeah, Toei is a very very frustrating studio,
I like your
as cool as they are too.
I like your Toei executive voice. We should use that for something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're just run by old men. They're just run by old men. So like, maybe I can become a Toei executive. This is how we can greenlight like more original projects. I just sneak in there, use my Toei exec voice. I become the president of Toei, and I fix everything.
Digimon.
Yep.
You'll just bring in more Digimon of it. you'll
Oh,
get
for
that
sure. Don't
that
get it
horror
twisted.
guy,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh my God. His story is so sad. Like he worked
Uh,
at Toei for eons, and then he's just doing boards and random seasonal slop. Like, oh, that show, Ghost Game. As much as I loved it, that show ruined like so many lives. Did you know like the writer had like a mental breakdown working on the show?
oh no. Does it?
Dandyist coming. Dandyist for Toei president coming in with Ghost Game Season 2, ruining more
I mean, I'll
lives.
green. Yeah, I'll for sure greenlight the original stuff. But like, yeah, Digimon will take precedent. But hey, if you were in charge of Toei, what would you do? That's how we're gonna close it out.
Oh wait,
I
before
would.
we. Oh, Amicus.
I was just gonna continue. I'd say if I was Toei president, I'd make the Doremi light novels adaptation real.
What the fuck are they doing with
Mm,
Doremi? They're being so coy with it. Cause like they're making these like music videos and they're saying like, "Oh, we might make more," but it's just like, well, are you going to make more or like?
They're 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 at like the stage of like they keep saying like, oh, if these do well, we might do more, and then it's like, well, they're doing pretty well like with
Yeah.
views. It's like
mm.
Yes.
it's like and they're posting them worldwide too. That's the big thing too. They're like not region locked anymore. That's so odd to me because it's like you're openly like marketing these to like international audiences is like, what are you doing if you're not gonna do anything with it, you know?
Mm.
Mm, yeah. And like the thing, they have like young female directors too there who would like kill it on a show like Doremi in the first place. So it's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you trying to do here? Is it just gonna be music videos for the end of time?
Yeah.
But oh,
Yeah. Are there any good Shinchan movies? Like speaking of franchises, like Amicus, I know you've
Oh,
seen like the newer ones. Is like the one that's another place where like good directors and artists. I know they've been kind of incubating them at Shinei.
yeah, Shine. Um, yeah, that most recent Shinchan movie, the well, not the most recent one, but like the dinosaur one was like really, really good. There was a
Ah,
lot of really good direction in it. Um, the fact that dinos were all 2D, like no, there were some bits of CG, but they were not used on the dinosaurs because like they had separate like they had a separate AD for like the dinosaurs, Yutakanabe, and then of course for like the actual for and then of course like chief animation director for like the regular characters and stuff. You know, it's Sueyoshi who's been like
oh yeah,
God, Sueyoshi has been like on Shinchan, not maybe not since the beginning, but he's been on Shinchan like
pretty much the beginning.
his first episode of Shinchan was like literally the episode where Himawari is born. Like
Oh,
right at the end of like the Hongo era, and well, it's not the first Shinchan thing he did, period, because he did some stuff on movie 2, specifically the skydiving scene.
right.
Um
That's right. Because I
but
remember that in
he
your
didn't
reel.
really
Yeah.
yeah, he didn't appear in movie 3, but I don't remember if he appeared on movie 3 actually,
Hmm.
but the Himawari birth segment is his first like actual proper Shinchan episode. And
Oh,
he,
I see.
and then and then after and then after that he just kept working on the show more and more,
Yeah.
and then after a certain while he got upgraded to like character design on like the movies,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then after a certain point he just became the main character designer on like the show.
Yeah, he's
Because like
synonymous with Shin-chan now. He is the
yeah,
Shin-chan guy.
he's like basically like the chief animation director. Like he's like one of the big guys on Shinchan now, which is
Hmm.
kind of interesting to think about.
Yeah.
It's a, I'm not sure if Dandy saw it, but the new opening is like really good. I
I think
might
I tried seeing it. I was thinking
I
like I tried seeing it, but I think it was region locked. So it was just like, oh, okay, all right, I
I
see
could
how it is.
I could send it real quick. I think I sent it in here actually a little bit ago. Maybe well not in this specific chat, but like give me a sec.
Okay.
Well, I like that whenever Shanae needs to like rejuvenate a franchise, they always go back to dinosaurs. That's their surefire hit. The Doraemon. They did the dinosaurs again. Oh, okay. Let's watch the opening.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dang. I'm on my phone right now, and like the video's just frozen for me. So,
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, he's still on your phone.
Oh,
yeah. Oh yeah. So I said my laptop got fixed. Yeah, she's dying on me again. So I don't know.
Then
my
oh
God.
no. I'm so sorry.
Wait. Like she crapped on me like twice last night. I was like, damn. Well.
Oh man. Well, we better wrap this up soon, and probably.
Yeah.